Time to rock and roll. Ah, yeah, time to rock and roll. Isn't that crazy how many things have changed over the years, over the decades, actually? And you know something? It happens all the time, everywhere, no matter where you go. I always find it interesting when people talk about technology. Oh, wow, it's never changed so fast. I really wonder about that. If we go back 100 years, so it's 2022, we go back to 1922. What are we seeing on the roads? More and more cars. Fantastic. They're changing from that Model T into actually cars that look a little bit more like they look today. They've gotten unbelievably quieter. You've seen traffic lights come on. You've seen turn signals come on. Horns. I hear a lot of horns at that point in time. Roadways, cobblestone. Then all of a sudden they paved it. Telephones. Well, TV came on a little bit later, but radio, transmission, sending signals across the globe. All these changes. I think it would be an incredible conversation to have with somebody if you took a look back on someone who's 100 years old today and the changes that they've seen in their life. Flying a plane, oh my gosh, it was like minimal 100 years ago. Now, going to what we said was in the James Webb telescope is looking billions of years in the past. I'm still kind of grasping trying to grasp that one, as it works because light travels faster and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And maybe we can have somebody on that can explain that one, but that's not top of my mind, although I love those photos. Now that would be an interesting photo to take. Still trying to work on that. We're taking photos of non-moving objects. We're going to go to moving objects and then low light. Ooh, that's a whole nother category. Whole nother category. But today we're talking about music. How much has the music changed in the last 100 years? Oh, well, this is not going to be a music history lesson. I'm not the guy for that, but I can tell you the music in the 20s and 1920s was a lot different than the music today. A lot different. You got to the big bands, and that was wild stuff. Wild stuff. People going out to a restaurant, to a club, to go see these bands play. I recently had the opportunity to get to the Suffolk County Alliance of Chambers had an event I went out to. It was in Riverhead, and it was at the Suffolk Theater, and it was amazing. Good event, but that theater was just absolutely incredible. I got some photos on it. If I knew I was going to talk about that today, I probably would have, posted them up over here. But it really was taking a step back in time. Big stage, good. It looked like I was going to tell you, it looks like a movie theater, but it's not. It wasn't just a movie theater. It was a movie theater of old, the Art Deco on the walls, phenomenal stuff. Really great as the way that looked. And it was all still there. I can't imagine how much that would be worth if they opted to sell it, but they didn't. They refurbished it. So you could go there, see bands of today. I'm probably sure they've given some big bands that do play out there too. I know there's quite a few of them floating around. You sit down, not in a row of chairs, but you sit down at your table. You got food service, cocktails, phenomenal stuff. Just absolutely gorgeous. Upstairs in the balcony area, and you can sit in the balcony area. It's the same kind of thing. There's a bar room that was upstairs there. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Even the people, it was truly a step back in time over there. And now we're talking about going back 100 years. Well, what do you say we step it up a little bit? Yeah, we bring it a little bit further forward. I wasn't in the music scene in the 60s. I was a little too young for that. But one of the things I am kind of surprised about is that the music of today is not a little bit more similar to the music of the 60s. Because those folks that were writing those songs of the 60s, so many of them were protest songs. They were current event songs. They were delivering a message. Heck, some of them were like flat out delivering a message. I don't think anybody will ever accuse Neil Young of being a great singer. Great songwriter? Hmm, absolutely. Great musician, entertainer? Yeah, I think so. Singer? No. But so many of those songs had messages involved in that. And where are that today? Don't know. Ironically, I went to an event 10 years ago, something like that. It was a hip hop event. It wasn't a music event. It was these different hip hop stars, different hip hop musicians that were all based in Manhattan. This was in Upper Manhattan. I was up in Harlem, went over there. It was an interesting invite that I got on that one. Here's those interesting opportunities that come up. I mean, the story behind that one is that I had taken a class at Cablevision to learn how to use a camera, not a still camera, but a video camera. Because the idea was is that I wanted to be able to use that studio to record stuff, perhaps do a show. And if you did it there, and then you were able to put that show on Cablevision on one of the upper channels, but you were able to do that. So I went and I took the class. 4 or 5 weeks. I'm not sure if they go over that class right now. It's a shame. But COVID's had its impact on a whole bunch of different things. But I had, let's just look it over there and see what we got. I was, so I took the class, and because of that class, I was actually able to take the equipment out. I mean, it's really pretty wild. This was older cameras. They were still far above anything I had. Remember, this was 10 years ago too. Right, so I had a little video camera, but this was TV quality stuff. Granted, a little outdated, but for the purposes, absolutely not. So all of a sudden, I was the guy with the camera. I was the guy with the camera. I was not the guy with the camera with experience, but I was the guy with the camera. They had a phone call from these two folks that were actually on Donna Drake's show, and they were in the process of creating a game that had to do, and it was tied in with the various hip hop stars. So they asked me, it's like, how would I like to go to film the interviews that they do and film some of these presentations? I went. I was like, sure. I like, you do understand though that I'm really not sure what I'm doing. Like, it's fine. It was one of these low budget things. They were like, they needed the help and support, of us to do it. So it was incredible, the opportunity that came up, with that. But it was those folks that their songs were delivering not the same messages, but they were delivering real life messages about current events that they were in the 60s. And I truly enjoyed that. And it was fascinating to listen to them. And it was an interview. There were people on stage, and it was all interviews. It was really fascinating, to listen to that. And then I had a camera, so I had full access to everybody. It was great. I didn't do any interviews myself. I was the camera guy. But I did a lot of listening, and it was a big eye opener on that one. Not all these preconceived notions. I don't know. We'll say that. Preconceived notions. I didn't imagine what it was and some of the concerns that they had, but some of the concerns that everybody has, right? They want to live their life. They want to promote their music. They want to do their thing. They want to be safe walking down the street. They want to be part of a community and all the rest of that kind of stuff. Well, you know what? Wasn't that what the 60s was all about too? Granted, people were on two sides of the street with a lot of things. Well, a lot of similarities with that one. All right, but anyhow, so let's jump ahead here. 60s, 70s. 70s a little bit my side of life. Late 70s, actually. I was born in the early 60s. Drinking age was 18. Now it's 21. Drinking age was 18. Went out to so many of the bars, my father's place, which is now back. Different, but it's now back. I venture to say it's not the same. I know it's not the same my father's place as it was back in the day. Yeah, still in the same town. That's true. Different building. Now at a hotel that they converted over to it. I'm sure you got food service and things like that there. Back in the day, Oh, my father's place. We lined up in the street. We went in, and we all sat at like these massive tables. There was no rows. There was no 8 people sitting at a circle table or anything like that. Mm-mm. Boy, it was quite the party. It was actually New Year's Eve. It was a new. I couldn't for life of me tell you what year. It was probably had to be after 79, 80, 81, something like that. Went to New Year's Eve party there. Wow, what a lot of fun it was. I did not drive home that night. No way. Had a fun time. But it was great. It was a big group scene going out to these bars and doing that. Now I think it's changed quite a bit. Now it seems like it is a bit more like event driven. Now, if you're a bar owner, I mean, think about the changes there, right? Back in the day, drinking was prevalent. We drank. We drank. The Long Island iced tea got invented. That was kind of cool. That was over at Hammerheads, Babylon or Bayshore, Hammerheads. Remember, I saw a soft white underbelly, Blue Oyster Cult. Who knew? I didn't know. I heard rumors. Is it really? It is, and isn't it not? Wow. And it really was. It was so unbelievable. So unbelievable. But that place was massive. I would, again, I'm just guessing how many people were there, but 500, 700, 1,000 people in there, packed in there. We were having a ball, having a great time. We were 18 years old and drinking. How much has that changed now? Right? Now all of a sudden, it's not 18 and drinking, it's 21 and drinking. And you're a bar, you get messed up with not IDing people or not keeping the proper safety measures in place. For that story, one of the catering halls that had their own issue, they lost their liquor license, then they would pay a fine and they have it back again. But that's big money. You're a bar owner and you have these bands come in, you have the people come in over there. The big money for them, the big revenue for them is not charging a cover charge. Hopefully some of that money, if not all of that money, goes over to the band. Not easy for a band, it's group of people getting together, kind of thing, not a name band. I'm sure Soft White Underbelly got paid for that. Many other bands, I don't know how much they really get paid, but they're collecting that cover fee. So if you had 1,000 people paying $10, that's 10 grand. That's a nice night for many of these bands. But if they're getting paid $1,000, think about it. Getting paid $1,000. There's what, 4, 5, 6 people in the band? Depends. Then you got a few roadies. You got a couple of folks helping to move all that equipment. They got to throw them a couple of dollars. What are these bands making? Not money, unless they sell CDs or T-shirts and all the rest of that kind of stuff. Then it'll certainly help out a bit over there, generate some revenue, make it tie in on the speaker side of things too, right? Because if you are a speaker, a professional speaker, the back of the room sales might be the greatest part of your revenue. It's funny, I was listening to one of the NASCAR things there too. It was Dale Earnhardt and Boris said we're doing it was a road race years ago and stuff like that. And Dale Earnhardt was they were doing like practice warm-up laps, not even going fast, anything like that. It is Dale Jr., by the way. Dale Jr., the car was crashing and went on fire. Everybody was okay. He did definitely suffered burns on that one. But they never got a chance to race the car. And Boris got paid. Everybody got paid on the whole thing. But he didn't get paid a lot for it. He just wanted to race. Boris just wanted to race a road race with Dale Jr. and stuff like that. But they sold die-cast cars. And Boris had mentioned it. He never made so much money selling stuff, selling those memorabilia, selling the items than he ever did, with that race. And he never even got in the car. He just never really got a chance to get in the car. Speakers, it's the same thing. We've had those discussions with people who speak for free, but they're selling their book. You get 500 people showing up. You sell your book for $10. If it costs you $2, $3 because you're self-publishing, for the book, that's $7. You get 500 people showing up. You sell 500 books. You make 30. That's real money. made $3,500, for you. It's a lesser amount. Even if it's 100 people, you make $7. It's $700. You know what? You're doing a local thing, and the rest of it, not the worst thing in the world. Also depends upon who you are, where you are, and that the professional speakers, they get paid a fee. It's different strategies with the book. That's not really the point. The point is with these bands, generating revenue with the bands has changed quite a bit. The bars, can the bars really pay a lot of money to the cover bands, tribute bands, even some of the original music bands? Can they pay a lot of money to it? Maybe not. It just maybe not, because they don't have that amount of people coming in, and they're not generating the revenue from the bar tabs. Maybe they're generating from the food. Now all of a sudden we have a change of purpose of the venue. I don't remember eating anything at all when I went to Hammerheads. Not a thing. Not a thing. I didn't even know if there was a bowl of peanuts around there or anything like that. But they made the money on drinks. Now all of a sudden I think the bars need to make money on food. Different. Now if they're going to seat people, now all of a sudden we got space considerations. You can't pack 1,000 people in. Now you're down to a lesser amount of people because you got to put down tables, chairs. The band, is it a different kind of music? Perhaps it is too. It's a different kind of venue. It's a whole different kind of aspect of the whole thing. And who's going? Now, so if you got a menu and you're providing dinner and a show, we're back to the Suffolk Theater. Wouldn't that be kind of cool, neat, if we're going to go back on some terms? To go out to the Suffolk Theater to go see a band, go see a comedy show, go see a show. Not just a night out of drinking, but to go see a show where you're sitting down at a table in a beautiful theater and doing that. Another possibility is going out and doing these things and attending something as a music festival. There you go, Mike. Groovy it is. It's a music festival, right? Who is it? The Movers, Moverz, has been doing that. And they started a while ago. Yeah. So they started doing this a while ago. Those folks were, there we go. So they did it. They did it quite a while ago where they had it, and these folks unbelievably creative, and that's the point of the whole thing: creativity, right? The creativity side of it goes that they were having an outdoor festival, and this is pre-COVID, had an outdoor festival going on, and they needed to boost ticket sales, and they had like 2 weeks to go, and the rest of that stuff. Event planners, you can relate to this. We don't plan ahead. It's always last minute, especially an outdoor event, right? Yeah. Well, the weather's not good. I'm not going. It's too hot. I'm not going. It's too cold. I'm not going. It's gonna rain. I'm not going. So they all went out there, and they were a big force. They went out there. Yeah, they used pineapples. I used to do this. They used pineapples, and they went and had a great time doing it. And they've done it again too. So that was a music festival. It wasn't just going to a bar. Going to a show, going to a theater. Suffolk Y is one of the places that Alex has been using and plans on continue to use for the events. He's got a showcase event coming up, which I'll put up the sheet on that one. But he's got a showcase event coming up, and it's a lot of like 5 or 6 different cover bands throughout the whole afternoon. It's very inexpensive to go, and I think it's really a great idea. But it's an event. It's not just a thing. It's not just a night out. It's not just a night out. And then, of course, there's the fundraising ideas that go behind it too. What if you were presented with an idea to go to one of these farms, nonprofit locations? They're rescuing animals, horses, dogs, whatever it might be, or maybe they're just growing food. I stopped over at the Hobbs farm. I don't know. As far as I know, they're not going to do a concert over there, but they're going to have a run. They're going to raise. In fact, I told them I was going to do it, so I got to go sign up for that. It's in like 2 weeks. But they're gonna have a run in order to raise money. So what about those kinds of things? Has it changed music around? Oh, absolutely. Well, again, back in the day, you'd call up a bar would call you and say, "Hey, we need you to come, pay you X amount of dollars," and then you go and you do. Bring some I was going to use the word cassettes, CDs, and who knows? Maybe back in the day you did bring cassettes. I don't think anybody brought 8 tracks. I don't recall that one. But T-shirts, perhaps posters, maybe, but definitely the T-shirts. You've got the CDs of the music and selling the CDs. Seen that a lot. It was a fundraiser was for Angela's house, I believe, and that was out here. And again, this was years ago. I mean, everything was pre-COVID, and that's why it's kind of exciting over here, right? Pre-COVID has certainly changed everything. Oh, COVID has certainly changed everything around. But in that event, what it was, the band was there. The bands were not looking to get paid anything. It was a fundraiser, for a nonprofit. But they had their CDs to sell, and they had T-shirts to sell. So they did that. They got compensated for going there, and which was nice. They should get compensated because it costs time, energy, effort, and probably money too. To pay somebody to help out with the equipment. That's fine. That's fine. Just like speakers, right? You're going to go and give a presentation someplace and you're doing it for free. You know what? Sometimes we do those things. It depends on situations and etc. But, you bring some books to sell. I've done that. I book I co-wrote. A couple might have said that. But whatever, book I co-wrote, I brought the book with me, sold a couple of copies. It's like, okay. Didn't sell many copies. Wasn't that big of an event. So this was no great success story. I'm not the guy to talk about that. I know someone who is. And I know someone who will be too, actually. And but anyway, whatever. Paid for gas, paid for, bought a drink over there too. Whatever. So, that kind of thing. So that was definitely nice. It was nice. But it's changed. Music has changed quite a bit over the decades. 60s was all about, thinking the 50s, man, it was all about shaking those hips. 60s, it was about telling stories. It was storytellers, definitely storytellers. 70s, hey man, 70s was about some of the long-haired folks. It was the hippies against the disco folks. I was more on the hippie side of things. That's why it was fun growing my hair back that that year or two, that kind of thing. That was a unique one too. Presented an opportunity to get on TV. I was great stuff. That was Hair We Share, by the way, and they got a fundraiser coming up. So we'll get the information out on that one, also. But anyhow, so yeah, the 50s they were shaking the hips. 60s it was about it was about social impact. It was about storytellers. 70s we were growing our hair, putting a hairspray in. Well, I didn't do the hairspray. The women did the hairspray, or it was the disco and that kind of thing. 80s, I think we still hung on to the. I think we definitely hung on to into the hairspray into the 80s. But then the music changed. It definitely changed. It was all dance music and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know. And of course, you got hip hop throughout that whole thing in there. Hip hop's changed quite a bit. Right? It definitely has changed quite a bit. Some of it was real rough and tumble. Others, it gets to be a little bit more message like as that goes. All right, 90s, I don't even know. I can't tell you. I don't even know. Even once we got into 2000, 2010, 20, it's like, what? It faded from me. This is my 40s, 50s, now 60. You know what? There's only one place I listen to music, and that's, places that I'm at. But not even really home. It's background stuff at best, as that goes. But what would get me out again? Tell you, it would be the fundraisers and that kind of thing. Outdoor festival, maybe, maybe, but it's the fundraisers. Paige does these things. Paige Madison does these events, and they're tied in. She sings, and her singing is just really great. And it's her. She's got a band behind her also. It's tied in. It's tied in with raising money for a nonprofit, raising visibility for that nonprofit. I think that stuff is great. Really, truly do. These events that take place as fundraisers, at perhaps, some of these rescue farms, or just farms out on the island. Oh yeah, would I go to that? Without a doubt. I think that stuff is great. Does it change things around for the bands? Yeah. Just like the speaking industry has changed so much, especially here on Long Island, right? Everybody will speak. Everybody wants that microphone. Should everybody have the microphone? Perhaps not. But many people should, in my humble opinion. Many people should. As entertainers, different. You've got comics that can go up there, storytellers that can go up there. Quite a few people in that one. Promote your business. Yes, you're not going to promote your business at an event, anything like that. Unless you're sponsoring and now you're writing a check. It's a whole different world. Definitely need to be able to communicate. But would I go to a music event that's raising money for a nonprofit? Yeah, I definitely would. The band. Let's take a look at it from the band standpoint. The band speaker needs to raise money, get compensated some way. So that's where the CDs come in. The facilities. I think the facilities are focusing much more on not the drinking audience anymore, right? Because it's not 18, it's 21. But it's on the food audience now. There are some clubs out there and some clubs that have got a following. They'll continue to do well. Absolutely. There is something there, but even they are getting into, the fundraising events, also. So therein lies their little change that's come up. So many of these places want to get music, want to get people into their places. So they do that. Makes sense. But actually, I do think it's going to come down to a slightly different audience that attends these events, which means the venues have to change a little bit, which means the bands have to change a little bit. The revenue stream on the whole thing needs to change a little bit. And it comes down to dealing with that challenge and seeing what the opportunity is, within it. Look, I hope, and this one's a hope, but I do hope that we will put a lot more effort into helping our communities become better communities. Whether it's the music industry, I think we have the Long Island Music Hall of Fame that has a location now, so that's exciting. Whether it be the school systems, these vocational programs, I'm very interested, in promoting that. Whether it's a matter of really getting into the high schools and showing the students what is available to them, because there are so many different ways of joining the quote unquote workforce, but creating revenue streams that are different. Take that band. What about that band? That band now needs to have a following. That's a social media person they need to work with, hire, do as an internship, whatever it might be. Photos. Do they need photos? Absolutely. You're a band, you probably need video. Who are you going to turn to? You have no money, you got limited budgets. Well, reach out to the schools. Again, there's internships and stuff like that. You want to know what might happen here? Again, we're going to use the music industry, as a catalyst for what could happen with these high schoolers when they see these different things that become opportunities for them to learn from. There's a lot of folks out there that are looking to do different things. I've reached out to Suffolk Community College, BOCES, for other reasons, not music, but definitely audio visual. I do believe there's an opportunity for that coming up again. Am I getting the response that I'm looking for? Not yet, but I will. I know I will. And I know you will too if you keep moving on and you keep trying to do, focusing on doing what it is that you should be doing. That is truly important. All right, I'm going to put the photo up over here of not Tomato Talk, but the Cover Band Showcase. This is going to be taking place August 7th. That is this weekend. August 7th. It's at the Suffolk Y JCC. The Suffolk Y is in Comac. It is an interesting facility too, right? It was a high school, or it's a school that closed down, a public school. The Suffolk Y bought the school, the whole thing, the whole thing. They run all kinds of programs in the classrooms. They've got the auditorium where they do the music. They got theater programs in there. They got all kinds of things going on. It's a fascinating place. You ever get a chance to go there, and you do, August 7th, by all means do. Ton of things going on. And that's what I mean. It's these kinds of events that are really good for the place, going to be really good for these cover bands, and it goes like it's the entire day. It goes 12 o'clock, and it goes. It's like 6 different bands or so, and it goes on throughout the whole entire afternoon into the early evening. You get a chance to see these different bands. You might find it interesting for yourself. But if you're running a facility, if you're running a nonprofit, if you're thinking about having a band come to your charity walk that's looking for more exposure to get in front of different people, you got a nonprofit of any sort, you got a place that wants to support the nonprofit community, you know what? This may not be a bad thing for you to attend. You might be able to make some unbelievable referrals right from this, because these bands, they're looking to do and continue to grow. And so are a lot of people affiliated with this whole entire event. Yeah, I do think it was groovy. Love that word, there, man. It was groovy. She put on like a tie-dye shirt. Seen the Grateful Dead. Oh, I saw the Grateful Dead, man. Jerry! Whoa! Actually, I got a Jerry painting over here. Thanks to my buddy Mitch. Gave it to me for my birthday a while back. But yeah, oh man, Jerry Garcia, the Dead, National Coliseum. I think they played one song as far as I remember. And then I think it took me a day to get out of that parking lot. And you want to know something? Who cared? It was a beautiful thing, man. It was just absolutely outrageously beautiful. It was great. That's what it all should be. Entertainment should just be fun. Fun. Music should be fun. Great experience. Let's get that back again. Post COVID, let's start doing those things again. Different facilities, different kind of music, different reasons for going. Absolutely. But you know what? Getting out there, supporting them, the facility, you're going out with your friends, you really do it. You really should do it. All right. Well, we're going to change today's ending around here a little bit, because here I don't want you to speak well, speak often. You should always live inspired, but sing well. Oh, I got a story for that one too. How much are we over? Oh, we're over a lot. Screw it. Went on a cruise ship. I was looking for a place to speak. I couldn't find a place to speak. Went to a karaoke bar. You know what happened at that karaoke bar? They had a contest to see who could sing, compete against other people. They were singing James Brown. James Brown, show you my level of music knowledge over here. James Brown. I was like, yeah, I could do that. I'm thinking James Brown was actually James Dean. I'm ready to grab my little scotch. And, I haven't had a drink in a while. I didn't even know if I was drinking over there. But I'm thinking, yeah, I could croon, that kind of thing. And then they started telling me, can you sing? Can you sing I Feel Good? Sure, I feel good. And then I realized what it was. Oh, my. I won. Yay. I was the only competitor in that category. Oh, well, whatever. All good. What did I win? Well, I won a chance to sing, not karaoke sing, but sing. The last night of the cruise, they had the big showcase over here. I and 7 other people all had all were representing different singers. Elvis Presley was one, Madonna was another one. Madonna's the story. So I had a chance to sing. I had a band. Yes, that's right. I had a band, the band pit, that was there. Unbelievable. And they told me, don't go over the line, because then you fall into the band area, into the orchestra pit. Didn't want to do that. And I'm singing and I'm practicing as I'm running around the ship. I feel good. And who do you think I ran into? Madonna. She's singing like a virgin. Hey, man, it was a match made. It was a match made in heaven. We had a great time doing that. All right, anyhow, hey, look, we have a special guest today. Here we go. Alex is here. All right, Alex, let's join in. Let me get rid of the picture over there. We got a couple more minutes left here. What do you say? What's going on there, my friend?
Hey, how's it going? I'm just at the Verizon store trying to fix a situation, but I took a break.
Yeah.
Just to be with you.
Oh, good, man. Okay, so I've been talking about how much music has changed over the last number of decades. Actually, went back 100 years. But you've got a couple of events coming up. That one at the Suffolk Y, which I mentioned, but a few other things too. So, why don't you tell us what you have in the near future over here? It's this weekend, and some of the things you might be planning.
Okay. This weekend, August 7th, at from 12 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night, we have an 8 hour Long Island showcase, cover band showcase. We're starting at noon with the North American Pandas. They changed their name from Papa Pandas to North American Pandas. And they are basically a School of Rock junior. They're junior high school kids. Actually, the lead is now in college at Nassau Community College. And they go around. The father wanted to encourage music, but unfortunately, being under 21, it's hard to play at bars. It's hard to play other places. So I booked them at the fairs, on festivals, and different things. And we had the showcase. I figured we could kick them off at 12 o'clock. So they get 12 o'clock. They're a really good band. They've been together for a while now. They're almost outgrowing. They've been doing this since they were 12 years old. And
Wow.
they're really great cover band, and they have some original music as well. Um, James is the leader of the band, is very active. I'm looking at their pages and some of the videos. If you check out the video of the Pandas on thebookingace.com, you go down to the bottom of the box office. They have a lot of silly things, a lot of very things that we don't relate to because we're not at that age, but they're very relatable, and they do the Snapchat thing, and they're more, they're on Facebook and everything else. So they really get in touch with the younger crowd. After that, we have Acoustic Angry Alice. Acoustic Angry Alice. I don't know if you're a David Stern, Howard Stern fan, but there was an angry. That wasn't angry. She was called something else. Alice. She was messed up Alice or something, and they called her Angry Alice. So he just called himself Acoustic Angry Alice, and it's just stuck. So it was supposed to be a temporary name. But he's a duet. He sings with a girl. He plays with a girl They do strong female role songs. So they'll be playing at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, we got the Day Trippers. The Day Trippers are Beatles cover band. Oh, sorry, I just tripped. And I get it, Day Trippers. Okay, didn't work. It didn't work during a concert either. And then I have the Petty Five. That's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and Traveling Wilburys, because Tom Petty became part of the Wilburys after a while. And then we got the last minute addition. We have Mirage, who does strong female lead singers as well. So it's a strong. They're basically on for 45 minutes just to showcase the bands. It's a great way to see a bunch of bands in a row, and capping the night off at 6 o'clock is Armada Rock Band. Armada's a band that I discovered at McDonald's, of all places. I was at McDonald's in Syosset, and this guy walks in, and he's got an Amazon shirt on. And I'm like, hey, I work for UPS. I thought we were taking over the world. But look, you're beating us to it, So, haha, we started joking around. Found out he was in a band, a drummer. I looked him up, and I saw their video of the cover of their Incubus, Wish You Were Here, and I fell in love with it. They did a great job. They actually recorded it 10 years ago. And during COVID, they did a COVID video where each person was in their own room just to keep themselves active. And they did a video, and it's also on my website, Wish You Were Here by Incubus. And they are actually a powerhouse rock band. They are going to steal the show on Sunday. They're going to be from 6 o'clock to 7:30, probably till 8 o'clock. And they got a banner going on. He's got a trash can that's going to light on, well, not fire, but fake fire. He's got all these props set up. It's going to be a tremendous theatrical show. A lot
Nice.
expected, because when I was talking to Dino at McDonald's, he's the drummer, they were like, these songs are great. Why aren't you more famous? I was the 26th person to subscribe to a YouTube channel, 26. And the songs are great. They have a lot of original songs, a lot of cover songs. They do very well. They cover Rolling Stones. They cover, Journey. And that's the type of music they do. And they're tremendous. And I'm like, I got to get these guys out of the basement and back out again. So I made them a headliner. Originally, I had them headlining, opening for Meatloaf, but Meatloaf was too expensive. They weren't selling tickets. That's another story there. But so we decided to headline them on the Long Island Cover Band show. And after we got the lineup set up, I'm getting cover bands calling me up. How come you didn't ask me in the showcase? I'm like, well, there's only room. There's already too crowded. There's only room for 6. So it looks like we'll probably be doing this, especially if it's very successful, on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. So either every month or every other month, and give bands a chance to play their stuff. Their friends can come visit them. They're not in a bar scene. They don't have to worry about buying beer or having beer spilt on them. They're in a nice 600-seat theater, beautiful lighting. The only problem is that the sound system isn't quite up to stuff yet. So we're working out a deal with the theater where we're splitting the profits between the SJCC and us. So half the ticket price is going to the SJCC as a charity for their 401c charity, SJCC, the JCC. So half the profits are going to go toward fixing their sound system. We're going in partners on this. So it's a good thing. So originally I had too much stuff going on this one weekend. We had to cancel Meatloaf and move it, and we had three bands going, but they were just too much. The cutoff date was last week. We didn't sell enough tickets. But the cover band showcase, every band, 20 or 30 people to show up, and we were able to make a profit. So we're right now we have broken even. So if nobody else buys a ticket, we were able to pay everybody. We're in good shape. But if we buy more tickets now, the JCC gets money for their sound system. I get money as the booking ace, and I promise if we break 200 tickets, I'll give more money to the bands. I'm not greedy that way. I told them, listen, give me a rock bottom price. That's what I'm paying you, definitely. But if I sell more than X amount of tickets, I'll give you more money. You have the potential of doubling what you're making. So they like that idea, and they're all work with me. They're all advertising. The Pandas, you probably see them advertise all over the place. The Day Trippers are advertising, Petty Fives. They're all advertising their own things. Mirage came to the game because we had a cancellation with Nightwork, but Nightwork wants to be in the next one. So it's actually coming out to be a really good thing, as opposed to actually with Martha Stewart. It's a good thing.
Yeah. No, I love the idea actually. Of doing this, of what you're doing over here, because it gives everybody a chance to gain different exposure with different people,
right,
that are tending to go see the other bands. But then there's also the other side of it. You get the tie-in with the nonprofit. That's important. But you also have the ability, or these bands now, or I should say the venues, other venues have the ability for them to go down there and go take a look to see what's going on. Kind of like, let's say, the scouts, if you're at a baseball game or something like that, right? But they're able to go down there and take a look at these bands too. So it opens up a wide array of possibilities, for these places, including of the nonprofits. So with venues, or with coordinated with different venues. So it's a good thing. It definitely is a good thing overall. So bravo to you and everybody for participating.
It's not all over yet. We have another idea. As you know, I have the top Zoom account that can fit 1,000 people in a seminar setting. So what we're doing is we're selling for $9.99 a Zoom link, and you'll be able to zoom in and see them live. So now Spain, in Canada, France, and Portugal. So we are now a worldwide phenomenon. So people are going to be zooming in and seeing the concert live at the same time for $9, but the people that come to the show are seeing it live for $25. And if they get the discount code, they're seeing it for $20. So for $20, you get to see 6 bands. That's less than $3 a band. Well, a little more than $3 a band. Which is a bargaining price. So at that price, some people may come in. I want to see the Pandas and Petty Five, and then I'll leave. And they have a great cafeteria next door. I made sure that he's going to be open from 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock to support your needs. And I tried to say, maybe we can sell some bamboo for the Pandas and some fish and chips for the Beatles, But he said, just I'll serve what I have. I'm not going to do specialty stuff just yet. But yeah,
right.
And Armada, Armada, so the fish and chips will work for them too.
Right. You also got the possibility for these bands to be selling their own CDs or whatever paraphernalia that that they have too. So it definitely could work out with everybody. I think it's really good. Happy to be a part of helping to promote the event. that you have coming up over here. And, you know, who knows? Maybe there's some other nonprofits out there that'll see the benefit of having these bands come in, and you can do things at different locations also. So, Alex, thank you. Thanks for joining us here. I put the link up for it. We'll put it up, you know, again, and just keep us posted as to what's going on.
Yeah, the next big event I just want to tell you about is on October 15th, because Tom Petty's birthday is October 20th. So on October 15th, on Saturday night, we're having a Tom Petty birthday bash. He died 2 years ago, but Petty 5 and Illusions are going to be playing Tom Petty, the Traveling Wilburys, Stevie Nicks, because he worked with Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac, and do more Tom Petty. So we're having a 5-hour show there for $39.93. And it's also going to be zoomed in, so that people outside of the area who want to come in and see the Tom Petty tribute that we're going to do, you know, and so forth. And we're also serving food that Tom Petty likes. We found out he likes hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, jelly rolls, and Butterfingers. So that's our menu.
Yeah. Sounds like a rather appropriate menu.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So we'll keep this one in front of everybody's mind, top of their mind, as they say. And then we'll deal with the Tom Petty one, where that gets a little bit closer too. But it's nice to know that stuff is taking place. Again, Alex, thanks for all your support, you know, throughout the years on my side of things. And I absolutely wish you the best of luck with this. Great idea.
Yeah, and it's in Comac, 74 Hop Hog Road. And we're going to have the box open all day. So if you want to come and see one band, you come in, you pay $20. The discount code is C-MEM5. So you just pay $20 at the box office, and they'll get you to the bands. You can come and go as you please. If you want to come in to see the first and fifth band, come see the first band, you leave, you come back, you show the ticket, you in for the second band, you know, wherever you want. You don't have to be there for the full 8 hours. It's making it more of like a festival type situation.
Nice. We get a hand stamp like back in the day.
Oh, just show your ticket. That's good enough. I can do. Maybe I'll go buy a hand stamp, but booking Ace hand stamp, the Ace of Hearts.
There you go. That'd be pretty interesting. All right, I'll put the link up for this whole thing. Again, thank you so much for doing what you do, and we shall speak to you on frequently. All right. So again, Alex, thanks. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go. You got it from Alex as to what is going on in his world, and that I'll put the flyer up for that. I think we made it. Copied it over here. Yep, Suffolk JCC. Got that going. We'll post that up. So that's the Suffolk Y. So again, I mean, Alex is doing a lot of those things that we were talking about throughout this whole thing. You know, tying it in with up and coming bands, with some of the more established ones. It creates an environment that should be a whole lot of fun and a wide variety. Different people networking with each other, different groups, raising money, tying over there to help the Suffolk Y continue to improve their facility. And then, like I said, if you're involved with some of the nonprofits that are looking to do something a little bit different, maybe into the fall, or perhaps even looking into something for next spring, you know what? It's not a bad thing to do. Definitely not a bad thing to do. All right. So as I was saying before, we can change it up here a little bit. I want you to sing well, sing often, and sing inspired. You just may inspire somebody else to belt out a tune and put a smile on everybody's face, even if you can't sing for a lick. Have a great day.